change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change.
Have you ever stared at a situation, like a tough breakup, a job loss, or even a simple argument, and felt like the world was crumbling? What if I told you that the same event could feel empowering to someone else? It's that nagging voice in your head saying, "Why me?" Or the knot in your stomach during uncertainty. We all face these moments, from young professionals navigating career fog to parents juggling work and family, or retirees reflecting on legacy. They stir confusion, frustration, and sometimes a spark of curiosity about what's really going on beneath the surface. Today, we'll uncover the law of perception. At the end, we'll explore the real success story of Michael Jordan, a story that truly embodies the law discussed in this video, showing how one shift turned rejection into legendary triumph. If this quote or the idea of reshaping your reality resonates with you, hit that subscribe button now to join our community and discover more timeless wisdom. Like this video if you're ready for inspiration, and comment below. What's one perception that's holding you back? Let's build this together.
Introduction to the law. At its core, the law of perception, a timeless principle that reminds us our world isn't just what happens to us, but how we see it. This law states that perception shapes reality. The filters of our beliefs, experiences, and emotions determine what we notice, how we react, and ultimately, the outcomes we create. Why does it matter? In a fast-paced American life chasing the dream, where grit and resilience are key, misunderstanding this can trap you in cycles of stress or missed opportunities. But embracing it? It unlocks freedom, turning obstacles into stepping stones. Think about it. Ever noticed how two people can witness the same event, like a rainy day, and one sees ruin while the other sees renewal? This connects to our shared human experience of navigating uncertainty, from young adults building careers amid economic shifts, to midlifers seeking balance in a hustle culture, or elders crafting meaningful legacies. The law of perception isn't abstract philosophy. It's a practical tool for daily empowerment, helping you align your inner view with the life you want. The essence of the law of perception boils down to this. Your reality is a reflection of your viewpoint, not the objective truth. This profound truth influences every aspect of existence, from personal growth to societal progress, empowering those who master it to transform challenges into triumphs across generations. Alright, let's roll up our sleeves and really unpack this law of perception. You know, it's not some fluffy idea floating in the clouds. It's a powerhouse principle rooted in how our brains and the world around us tick. Think of it as the ultimate filter on your life's camera lens. What you focus on sharpens, and what you ignore fades away. But how does it actually work? We'll break it down step by step, starting with the logical foundations from philosophy and science, then zooming into how it plays out in your everyday human experiences. By the end, you'll see why mastering this can feel like flipping a switch in a dark room. First, let's ground this in some solid logic, the philosophical and scientific basis. Philosophers have been onto this for centuries. Take Epictetus, that ancient Stoic thinker from way back in the Roman era. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Fast forward to modern psychology, and we've got cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, backing this up. CBT shows that our thoughts, our perceptions, directly influence our emotions and actions. It's like a chain reaction. Event happens, you interpret it through your mental filter, and boom, that shapes your response. Scientifically, this ties into how our brains are wired. Neuroscientists talk about the reticular activating system, RAS, in your brain. It's like a bouncer at a club, deciding what gets your attention. Once you set a perception, say, "I'm unlucky in love," your RAS scans the world for evidence to prove it right, ignoring the good stuff. It's confirmation bias in action, a psychological shortcut that keeps us efficient but can trap us if we're not careful. And from evolutionary psychology, our ancestors survived by perceiving threats quickly, spotting a saber-toothed tiger in the bushes. Today, that same mechanism makes us perceive job stress as a life or death crisis, even when it's just a deadline. Now, layer in society and nature for more proof. Look at nature. A glass of water is just H2O, but to a parched hiker, it's life-saving elixir. To someone drowning, it's a threat. Same thing, different perceptions. In society, think about cultural lenses. In America, we celebrate the underdog story, the grit of rising from rags to riches, like in the American dream. But if your perception is, the system's rigged, you might miss opportunities that others seize. Logic here is clear. Perception isn't passive, it's active construction. Quantum physics even hints at this. Observers influence outcomes in experiments like the double slit. While that's not directly about human minds, it metaphors how our observation or focus alters what we experience. Okay, pause for a quick reflection. Take 5 to 10 seconds right now. Think about a recent event in your life. How did your initial perception color it? Was it helpful or hindering? Alright, back to it. Shifting gears to human application, how does this law operate in your daily grind? Let's hit the big areas: relationships, career, emotions, and mindset. Starting with relationship. Ever had a friend misread your text as sarcastic when you meant it warmly? That's perception at play. If you perceive your partner as critical, you'll hear every comment as an attack, sparking argument. But flip it, perceive them as supportive, and suddenly those words become advice. It's practical. Next time tension rises, ask yourself, is this fact or my filter? This simple shift can mend bonds, fostering empathy and deeper connections. In your career, oh boy, this law is a game changer. Young adults in their 20s and 30s, you're often knee-deep in uncertainty, job hops, gig economy hustles. If you perceive failure as a dead end, like getting passed over for a promotion, you might quit trying. But reframe it as feedback, and it becomes fuel for growth. Remember the American grit ethos? It's like Thomas Edison perceiving 1,000 failed attempts not as defeats, but as steps to the light bulb. For mid-career folks balancing work and life, perceiving overtime as a burden drains you, leading to burnout. See it as investment in your family's future, and it energizes. Mature adults building legacies? Perceive retirement not as an end, but a new chapter for mentoring or hobbies, and watch contentment bloom. Emotions tie right in. Perception dictates whether anxiety from a public speaking gig cripples you or excites you, like adrenaline for an athlete. Psychology shows reframing nerves as excitement boosts performance. In mindset, this law is king. A growth mindset, per Carol Dweck's research, perceives challenges as chances to learn, not threats to ego. Fixed mindset? You avoid risks, stunting personal growth. Apply it daily. Stuck in traffic? Perceive it as forced downtime for a podcast, not wasted time. Over time, this builds resilience, turning victims into victors. But here's the psychology twist. Perceptions aren't set in stone. They're malleable through mindfulness or journaling. Studies from positive psychology, like those by Martin Seligman, show shifting from pessimistic to optimistic perceptions reduces depression rate. In society, look at movements like civil rights. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. perceived injustice not as insurmountable, but as changeable, inspiring action. We all slip up, right? That's human. But recognizing the law's operation empowers you. It's not about ignoring reality. It's about choosing a lens that serves you. Imagine two neighbors in a storm. One perceives destruction, spirals into fear. The other sees community rebuilding, rallies help. Same event, worlds apart. Let's do a mini challenge. This week, catch one negative perception in action, maybe at work or home, and flip it. What happens? Share in the comments, we'd love to hear. This law operates subtly but profoundly, weaving through logic, brain science, and your choices. Master it, and you don't just see the world, you shape it. Now that we've dissected how the law of perception works under the hood, Let's bring it home into your real world. This isn't theory, it's toolkit stuff. We'll explore key areas it influences: work, relationships, health, emotions, and even spirituality. I'll compare folks who apply it versus those who ignore it, with some everyday US examples to make it relatable. By the end, you'll feel that emotional pull, the aha of how this can transform your life. We're in this together, building that resilience for a meaningful path. Start with work, a biggie for our American audience chasing achievement. Applying the law of perception means viewing setbacks as setups for comeback. Take a young professional in their 20s facing career uncertainty amid tech layoffs. Perceive it as a market shift teaching adaptability, and you pivot to new skills, landing a better role. Ignore it? See it as personal failure, and you stall, maybe job hopping without growth. Stats from Gallup show optimists, those with positive perceptions, earn more and advance faster. Contrast: a mid-career parent in their 40s juggling remote work. Apply the law by perceiving flexible hours as work-life harmony, boosting productivity and family time. Go against it, view it as endless intrusion, and burnout hits, leading to resentment or quitting prematurely. Real US example. During the 2008 recession, some perceived it as doom, spiraling into debt. Others saw opportunity, starting businesses like Airbnb. The impact? Appliers build legacies of success. Ignorers face chronic stress, missing the American dream's promise. Relationships next, where perception can make or break bond. We all crave connection, right? If you apply this law, you perceive conflicts as chances to understand each other deeper. For instance, a couple arguing over finances. See it as differing views on security, not attacks, and you communicate, strengthening trust. This fosters emotional intelligence, vital for mid-adults balancing family. Ignore it? Perceive every disagreement as betrayal, and resentment builds, leading to isolation or divorce. US rates hover around 40%, often tied to misperceptions. A light humor note. It's like that classic sitcom mix-up where one thinks the other's mad, but it's just hunger, hangry perceptions. Mature adults in their 60s might perceive aging partners' forgetfulness as endearing quirks, nurturing companionship. Those who don't? See it as burden, eroding joy. The emotional resonance. Appliers enjoy fulfilling relationships. Opposers face loneliness, missing out on life's shared grit. Health and emotions intertwine here. Perceiving exercise as self-care versus punishment? Huge difference. Young adults battling anxiety. Apply the law by seeing stress as a signal to mindfulness, reducing symptoms. Studies from the APA show perceptual shifts lower cortisol. Ignore it, view it as weakness, and anxiety escalates, impacting work. For health, think obesity epidemics in the US. Perceive food as fuel, and you make better choices. See it as comfort in tough times, and habits worsen. Mid-career folks with work-life imbalance. Perceive boundaries as essential, achieving contentment. Resist, and chronic fatigue sets in. Emotionally, this law builds resilience. Post-pandemic, many perceived isolation as temporary, emerging stronger. Others saw it as endless, deepening depression. The impact? Appliers thrive with vitality. Ignorers suffer preventable woes, far from holistic growth. Spirituality rounds it out, less tangible, but profound for finding purpose. In American culture, with its individualism, perceiving life's ups and downs as lessons from a higher plan fosters peace. Mature viewers building legacies. See reflections on past as wisdom-sharing opportunities, inspiring contentment. Apply it, and spirituality becomes an anchor in storms. Ignore? Perceive randomness as chaos, leading to existential dread. US social phenomena like the Great Resignation post-COVID, some perceived it as a wake-up to purpose, switching to meaningful careers. Others saw it as economic trap, staying miserable. Emotionally, this resonates. We all seek that inner peace, right? Appliers find it, living with morality and insight. Those against wander lost. Comparing overall, those who know and apply the law of perception navigate life with empowerment, turning pain points into progress. Like young adults gaining career clarity, midlifers finding balance, elders crafting legacies. They embody resilience, overcoming setbacks with grace. Ignorers or contrarians, they cycle through frustration, missing opportunities, often feeling victimized. But here's the hope: we can choose. This law's impact is tangible. Better decisions, deeper joy, stronger communities. It's your key to a happy, peaceful life. Feel that spark? It's the start of your shift. Let's bring this law of perception to life with a real story that hits home, especially in American culture where resilience and achievement are everything. You mentioned Michael Jordan earlier, right? Well, his journey is a prime example of how shifting your view can turn heartbreak into history. Born in 1963 in Brooklyn, New York, but raised in Wilmington, North Carolina, Jordan grew up in a working-class family during the 1970s and 80s. A time when basketball was exploding in popularity, yet opportunities felt scarce for many. As a kid, he was athletic, but not the prodigy you'd expect. His unique circumstance? He was obsessed with proving himself, especially after idolizing his older brother Larry, who outshone him on the court back home. The big challenge hit in 1978, during his sophomore year at Emsley A. Laney High School. At just 5 feet 11 inches, Jordan tried out for the varsity basketball team, dreaming of making his mark. But the coach, Clifton "Pop" Herring, cut him. Why? The team needed height, and Jordan didn't stack up against the seniors or even his taller friend Leroy Smith, who made the roster. Imagine that sting, being told you're not good enough, watching your buddies suit up while you're sidelined to junior varsity. For a competitive teen like Jordan, it was crushing. He went home devastated, locking himself in his room, tears flowing. In American terms, it was like chasing the dream and getting a door slammed in your face early on. But here's where the law of perception kicked in, even if he didn't name it that way. Instead of seeing the cut as a permanent label of failure, Jordan reframed it as a wake-up call, a motivator to grind harder. He perceived it not as rejection defining him, but as fuel to prove everyone wrong. That summer, he trained relentlessly. Early mornings in the gym, endless drills, pushing his body and mind. He grew physically to 6 feet 3 inches by junior year, but more importantly, his mindset shifted. He later said in interviews, "Whenever I was working out and got tired and figured I ought to stop, I'd close my eyes and see that list in the locker room without my name on it." That perception change turned pain into purpose. The results? Junior year, he made varsity and averaged over 25 points a game, leading Laney to the state playoff. Senior year, he was a McDonald's All-American, earning a scholarship to the University of North Carolina. There, he hit the game-winning shot in the 1982 NCAA championship as a freshman. Drafted by the Chicago Bulls in 1984, Jordan became the GOAT. 6 NBA championships, 5 MVP awards, and a global icon with Air Jordan sneakers revolutionizing sports culture. His achievements didn't just build wealth, they inspired generations to embrace grit. The lesson? By perceiving setback as setup, he didn't just recover, he redefined excellence. This story shows us the law in action, friends. It transitions perfectly to the core message. Your lens doesn't just view life, it creates it. In the grand tapestry of existence, the law of perception whispers a profound truth. The world you inhabit is not forged by events alone, but by the eyes through which you behold them. Master this, and you unlock the alchemy of turning shadows into light, forging a path of resilience and fulfillment that echoes through eternity. It's the quiet power that reminds us, we are the architects of our reality, brushstroke by brushstroke. Now, let's turn the spotlight inward, shall we? Take a moment, pause the hustle of your day and reflect with me. How has the law of perception shown up in your own story? Think about that recent challenge. Was it a career stumble for you young adults seeking clarity, or perhaps a work-life tug-of-war for those in mid-career. Elders, maybe it's reflecting on a legacy moment that felt bittersweet. Ask yourself, what lens am I using right now? Is it one of limitation, seeing obstacles as walls, or one of possibility, viewing them as doors waiting to be opened? Rhetorical question time. What if you flipped that script today? Observe your daily life through this law's filter. Notice how you perceive a colleague's feedback, criticism or growth opportunity, that family disagreement, attack or chance for deeper understanding. In your emotions, catch when anxiety creeps in. Is it a threat or a signal to breathe and reframe? For personal growth, ponder your setbacks. Do they define you or refine you like Jordan's cut did for him? Here's a mini challenge. Over the next week, journal one perception shift each day. Share in the comments what changed. We're building a community here where these reflections spark real inspiration. This isn't just thinking, it's applying timeless wisdom to craft the resilient, purposeful life you deserve. As we wrap up this exploration of the law of perception, I want to say a heartfelt thank you for joining me on this journey, for opening your mind to these timeless truths. You've invested your time here, and that means the world. My wish for you? May you always choose the lens that lights your path, turning everyday moments into stepping stones toward a life brimming with clarity, balance, and deep contentment, no matter your age or stage. If this resonated, stick around. Our next videos dive into more gems like universal laws for resilience and mindset shifts for personal growth. They're crafted just for you, to inspire that American spirit of achievement and individualism. Before you go, a gentle nudge. If you've found value, hit subscribe to never miss out on these insights. Like if it sparked something in you, share with a friend who needs this wisdom, and drop a comment. What's one perception you'll shift today? Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, perceive the beauty in your world and live it fully. Take care.